I'll now call to order tonight's meeting of the Antelope Valley East Kern Water Agency. Madam Secretary, would you please call the roll?
May I ask everybody in the audience to please mute their microphones until we open it up to the public? Thank you. Division 7, Gary Van Dam.
Yeah.
Thank you, Gary. Division 6, Audrey Miller.
Here.
Division 5, Robert Paris.
Here.
Division 4, George Lane.
Oh.
Here.
Division 1, Shelley Sourceable.
Here.
Division 3, Frank Donato.
Here. I see.
Division 1, Keith Dias.
Okay. Okay.
Could you please mute your microphones? Dwayne Chisholm.
Here.
Attorney Markman.
Here.
And Holly Hughes present.
Thank you very much. Item 3, voluntary public roll call. If any member of the public wishes to introduce themselves, please feel free to do so now.
Vincent Dino, Palmdale Water District.
Hi, Vince.
Robert Sealand.
Thank you.
Recording in progress.
Director
Mark
Marino, Water
Bozigian.
District.
John Joyce, Rosamond News.
I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
John Joyce, Rosamond
Director
News.
Marino from Palmdale Water District.
Thank you.
And Mark Bozigian.
Thank you, Mark.
Bad Reed.
We couldn't hear that. Oh, Chad. How you doing, Chad?
Good evening.
And Dave Gomez, representing the city of Lancaster.
Hello, Dave.
Kathy McLaren, IBW NECA, LMCC.
Hi, Kathy.
Barry Munns, Antelope Valley Engineering.
Hello, Barry.
Andy Wilson with Master Collective.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right, we'll move along to item 4, public comments and period open to the public. If anyone wishes to address the board on any item not on the agenda, please feel free to do so now.
This is Mark Bozigian. I'd like to address the board if the board so pleases.
Yes, we'd like to hear from you, Mark. Thank you.
Hi, thank you guys. It's a pleasure to be before you. I'm speaking in my current role as a consultant for developers, and also I was the prior city manager of Lancaster for 11 years, so I'm fairly familiar with will serve letters and such. And I know it's a very difficult subject and there's a lot to it, but the real impact that's having on developers now is really delaying, if you will, the growth in the economy of the Antelope Valley and Lancaster in particular. I've had a couple of clients that have been or expected to be on the Avek agenda, and for whatever reason we're not, and I respect that those things happen. But the real impact of not being able to get will serve letters now, which is what we're running into, water will serve letters, is it is delaying projects. And in this time, subcontractors, both labor, materials, and such, aren't even holding their bids for 15 days. Some aren't even holding them for a week. So any delay in projects is costing real money, and it's getting to the point of making some projects not feasible. So I implore you guys, whatever you can do, and again, I know it's a difficult subject, but we need to have some level of certainty and streamlined process so that people and developers in particular can get their will serve letters so that they can go on with their project. So working with LA County or whatever it takes, it will definitely help the economy of the Antelope Valley. And it's will serve letters are one of the most important things because none of the other agencies that need to give approval will give approval for you to do anything on a project. So you have the will serve letters. So without that, the project's dead in the water, as you guys well know. Really appreciate you listening, and I appreciate the job you guys do. You do a phenomenal job for the AV.
Thank you for your input, Mark. We understand what you're saying. Any other public comments?
Yes, this is Dave Gomez, Deputy Mayor for the City of Lancaster Economic Development. I'm here to ask for certainty for the city in regards to also will letters for water. The infrastructure of the city and projects and development to move forward definitely needs water, and I'm advocating for that. And thank you for your time.
Thank you, Dave.
Hi, my name is Bob Seelan, and part of this conversation is about one of my projects that needs water that we've been working on for quite a while. The project's called Onion Plant. I'm the managing member of Onion Plant LLC. Mark is a consultant for us, and you're going to hear from Barry Munch, maybe, that is our engineer. And we have a will serve letter. We have a subdivision. From my understanding, and Barry can articulate better than I can, we now need to purchase the water and have water entitlements. So I'm saying it correctly. I have been willing to do whatever, and I'm still willing to do whatever we need to do. And right now, we're stuck, and we can't really move it further anymore. We have certified graded pads over there. We have a 60,000 square foot building that the city is ready to issue a building permit on. And until I can get water flow for the fire department, is what I understand, we're stuck. And so effectively, I don't know what to do. So I have a proposal, or I had something about buying water a few years ago, back in 19. It was about 10,000 an acre foot back then. I would have done it. I sent in a deposit for $10,000. It never went anywhere. And then that didn't happen. We didn't need the water yet. Now, we have one of our buildings fully occupied, and we have another 150,000 square feet. 60,000 is ready to start right now. So I don't know what to do other than I'm getting hurt, and I'm getting nervous. I'm going to lose my construction lender and my tenant if I can't resolve this. So like I said, I'll put up deposits, good faith, whatever, to get the water flow part of this, whatever I need to do. If there is some exception or way you guys can get that done. But I need to move along, and this is the very last thing. Everything else is done.
Thank you for your comments, Mr. Sheehan.
Yeah, if I may elaborate a little bit on what Bob has said, I would appreciate a few minutes of your time here. Where we're at with this particular project anyway is that we do have graded pads. We are ready to pull encroachment permits to start working on offsite improvements, and we're ready to get a building permit. However, water obviously is the holding point. Without water supply entitlements, the Los Angeles County Water District will not issue us a fire flow availability letter, which we need in order to give to the fire department. So the fire department will approve the plans and issue us a building permit release. Then once we have that building permit release, then we can give it to the city. Then the city will issue us a building permit. So it's just kind of a domino effect in a matter of speaking. I've got 4 different agencies that we've got to, this water entitlements has to filter through all these different agencies in order for us to get that permit. I also can't get my water plans approved unless we have the water supply entitlements. So the water supply entitlements are something of great concern, not just for this project, but for several other projects we're working with right now. And I do hope that we can see some way forward with this. I know we've had a method forward. I know it's kind of, as Mark said, it's very difficult and convoluted. There's a lot of moving parts. It's hard for all of us to keep track of what's going on when it comes to the water supply entitlements, and greatly appreciate your consideration of being able to move this forward. Thank you.
Thank you, Barry. Anyone else? All right, we'll move along to item 5. Do I have a motion to approve tonight's agenda?
I'm sorry, I was muted by you guys. Can I address the board briefly?
Oh yes, I'm sorry. More public comments. Please proceed.
Yes, thank you. I appreciate the board's time. My name's Andy Wilson. I'm the construction manager for Master Collective on Bob Ceylon's project. I just wanted to appreciate your guys' hard work and everything that you're doing for us. The reality is we have tradesmen ready to go to work right now, and a tenant that wants to move in a building, and the economy moving forward. So we appreciate everything you're doing, and whatever you could do to work with us to get us going. Really want to try to get some pipe in the ground. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wilson. Are there any other public comments?
Yes, and Kathy McLaren. I am today speaking for my business development role on these projects, also with concerns from our contractors as well as our tradespeople that are looking to get out there and get some work in. So they're really asked me as a water person, and I said I would gladly come and speak to you with all due respect. And so I'm just voicing their concern that it's holding up some very much needed projects. Thank you.
Thank you for your input, Kathy. Any other public comments? Hearing none, we'll move along to item 5. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
Mr. President, this is Rob. I will move that we adopt the agenda.
Thanks, Rob.
This is Director Miller. I'll second.
Thank you, Audrey. Roll call vote, please.
Mary Van Dam,
Yes.
Audrey Miller,
Yeah.
Robert Paris,
Yes.
George Lane,
Yes.
Shelley Sorsable,
Yes.
Frank Donato,
Yes.
Keith Tice.
Yes, measure passes. Now we'll move along to item 6, the consent calendar. Do I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
Also move, Mr. President, George Lane.
This is second, Frank Donato.
Thank you. Could we have a roll call vote, please?
Gary Van Dam,
Yes.
Audrey Miller,
Yes.
Robert Paris,
Yes.
George Lane,
Yes.
Shelley Sorsable,
Yes.
Frank Donato,
Yes.
Keith Tice.
Yes, measure passes. Thank you. Item 7A, Planning Committee. Resolution number R2111, approving the Antelope Valley State Water Contractors Association budget allocation for Avek for fiscal year 2021-2022. Director Sorsable, do you have a report?
No, I'll turn that over to our general manager.
Thank you.
Thank you, Board President Dias, members of the board. This is the annual approval of the AB State Water Contractors budget. And that's the organization, as you are aware, that is representatives of the 3 state water contractors that are located here within the Antelope Valley. And this association was created several years ago to work together to coordinate various efforts amongst those state water contractors. And so the AB State Water Contractors approved their budget on June 3rd of 2021. And per the JPA of the governing body, each agency is required to have an affirmative vote for the budget to move forward. The proposed general operating costs for the whole budget between for fiscal year 21-22 is $28,600. All right, too many hands. Okay. And as you may remember, the bylaws require that the first $30,000 in agency contributions are, or wait a minute, where are you going? I finished that. Next slide, please. So the first $30,000 of the agency contributions is covered evenly. And so that's split three ways, $10,000 each. Our recommendation is that the Avek contribute $10,000 or set aside $10,000 for the 2021-22 fiscal year budget. And just to remember, refresh your memory, this item was included in the fiscal year budget that was just approved by the board. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have with regards to this particular item. There is a board order and resolution for adoption of the contribution for the budget for 21-22.
Any questions?
This is Director Sourceable. I'll move to approve Board Order 781.
Thank you.
Mr. President, this is Rob. I'll second that.
Thank you. Are there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, could we have a roll call vote, please?
Gary Van Dam,
Yes.
Audrey Miller,
Yeah.
Robert Paris,
Yes.
George Lane,
Yes.
Shelley Sourceable,
Yes.
Hank Donato,
Yes.
Gaius.
Yes, measure passes. Thank you. Item 7B, Water Master Committee. Chairman Paris, do you have a report?
Mr. President, I'll turn that over to Matt, I believe, or Dwayne.
Thank you.
Yes, Board President Dias, members of the board, the Water Master meeting is scheduled for tomorrow at 10 a.m. On page 42, 44 of your board packet contains the agenda for tomorrow's meeting. The items being considered would be adoption of the annual report, adoption of some rules, regulations, revisions under Section 14N, and a few other routine items that are part of the report. This is an opportunity for the board members to comment on any matter that's coming up before the Water Master to provide direction to the board representative, Rob Paris, that sits on that board. The important aspect of this was the adoption of the annual report. Staff has reviewed the annual report. We find we have no objections with conclusions provided in the report, and it accurately represents Avek's use of water within the groundwater basin. So at this point, no action is necessary by the board unless there's specific direction for the board member.
Mr. President, I have a comment.
Yes, please, Rob.
Yeah, Dwayne, have we gotten the members of our board a copy of the annual report for their review?
Yes,
okay.
We did provide that.
And strongly encourage everyone to review that. That has a lot of really good information that our water master engineer puts together every year for us. So thank you, Dwayne.
Good comment. Any other questions, comments, or discussion? Thank you, Dwayne. Item number 8, General Manager's Report. Mr. Chisholm.
Thank you, Board President Dias, members of the board. This is the General Manager's Report for July 27th, 2021. You can see here, this is the state weather, our shaded areas, the area where the water is generated for the state water project. And you can see there's some little isolated showers, but in essence, no real precipitation on the horizon. Precipitation, the blue bars represent the average, and the yellow bars represent the actual in this particular water year. As you can see here that we project, oops, sorry. Oh, this thing gets so sensitive. You can see at this particular point here, we don't expect any precipitation in July and next to nothing in August. And then we have a chance to begin a little bit in September, but we're pretty much where we're going to be the balance of the year. And this graph kind of represents the various years, the wettest being up on the top here, which was 82, 83. This is 16, 17, and 18, 19, very good years. And some more local years you can see. But here's the lowest year of record, which is the infamous 76, 77 drought. And we're currently at 22.2 inches, which is only 3 inches better than what occurred back in 1977, 78. Reservoir conditions, as you can see, there's a lot of gold in these reservoirs throughout the state because they're all getting drafted downwards. You can see here, this is the Orville conditions, and this is the San Luis conditions. And you can see here we got 35% of our historical average and 26% of capacity. And in San Luis, you got 22% and 43%. So you can see we're definitely down on all of the reservoirs. This graph shows you this is where we are at today. So you can see that even in the lowest 77 drought, we're right at that level. We're about, we got about 900,000 acre feet of storage in Lake Orville. And as I mentioned, it was very, very, very low. Also, here we are with San Luis. You know, you can see we're right in the region where we have our lowest water levels. Previous years, we have about 450,000 acre feet of storage in the San Luis Reservoir, so it's very low. Closer to home, what we're doing with regards to our treatment facilities, we got 18 million gallons a day coming out of the Quartz Hill plant, 3.5 million gallons a day coming out of the Roseman water treatment plant, and the east side about 1.5 million gallons a day. So that ranges, between 25 to 25 million gallons a day. That's been fairly consistent. And if you look at our geopurification treatment, recovery wells from the various locations, you can see we're operating about between 23 and 20 million gallons a day, which is about as much as we can produce from those facilities. We're splitting between the two. About half of our water delivery is coming from the water banks, the other half's coming from Table A supplies. As far as the banking operations, the only water we're putting in is in the 2 million gallons a day is going inside, and then we're immediately pumping that out, and that's for treatment purposes for THMs. As far as other water quality updates, when the water from the aqueduct is slow and it's warm, the water quality is very, very poor, and it's a bit more of a challenge to treat that water. But the staff has been meeting on our goals and been able to treat the water to all the appropriate water quality standards. We took our THM samples, and we're still well below the 64 parts per billion standard that we've established for the agency. With regards to operation maintenance updates, we're pumping about all we can from the water bank. Bench Ranch is currently being repaired, and it's supposed to be back online in the next week or so. And we have the Roseman treatment plant is online and treating water that's coming from the agricultural wells. And we have no new confirmed COVID cases to speak of. As far as events and schedules, you can see the Water Master meeting is tomorrow at 10 a.m. There is a NWRA water tour between the 10th and the 13th. And then the Aqua Zoom through California series number 3 is up on the August 19th. And the CSDA conference in Monterey is 8:30 through I think it looks like 9/2. So that's those days. Late August, early September. My schedule: I'm going to be on vacation beginning Friday through the following Monday, and be back for the next board meeting. I can be reached while I am on vacation, but I'm sure Matt will handle things appropriately if you should need to contact anyone from the agency. That concludes my GM report. Any questions? Be happy to answer those.
Evidently no questions. Thank you very much, John. Item number 9, director's reports. Do any of our board members have a report to make? Hearing none, we'll move along to item 10, attorney's report.
Yes, President Dias, members of the board, I'm happy to report news that I think most people may have heard by now. But last week, the California Supreme Court decided not to review the Willis appeal, which is the only large substantive appeal left from the entry of judgment in the Antelope Valley adjudication. And so with that, the Court of Appeals ended their work, sent up what's called a remitter, sending its opinion down to the trial court, and it's received in the trial court, and the case is over, locked in. So you have now, we can safely say, a permanent management scheme through adjudication of the Antelope Valley water resources after many, many years of litigation.
Thank you, Jim. That is great news. Any questions? Okay, we'll move along to item 11, request for future agenda items. Any requests? Hearing none. Item 12, closed session. Dwayne, do we have a reason to go into closed session tonight?
Yes, we do. For item C.
12C. Do I have a motion?
Mr. President, this is Rob. I'll move we go into closed session.
Thank you, Rob.
This is Director Sourceable. I'll second.
Thanks, Shelley. Roll call vote, please.
Gary Van Dam,
Yes.
Audrey Miller,
Yes.
Robert Paris,
Yes.
George Lane,
Yes.
Shelley Sourceable,
Yes.
Frank Donato,
Yes.
Keith Dias.
Yes, measure passes. We'll go into closed session for item 12C as soon as Shelley can make the transition.
One moment, please.